Hi everyone. This is a very special episode of Under the Microscope because this one, of course, this is going to be a solo episode. That is one. So there is no other guest with me on this episode. And the second thing that makes this episode special is this is more along the lines of advice based on my learnings. And that is something you can take this as coaching, mentoring, consulting, advice whatsoever. I haven't narrowed down what exactly I want to call this particular special episode. So we will just call it a special episode for now and maybe call it, I don't know, advice line with Under the Microscope or something, which is quite a long title. And I'm not a big fan of this long title, but yeah, we will see. Okay, I will figure that out later on. So let me explain the concept of this type of episode. Every time I get a chance to interact with students, they're always very sweet. And then I also get a lot of messages on LinkedIn. Hey, can you advise me on this? And I'm thinking of doing a master's here. Can you advise me on that? And blah, 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 stuff like that. And my logic is always that if one person in the room has that question, then I'm pretty sure there is at least one more person in the same room who has a similar question. So instead of writing my responses to the advice, I thought I would just record this so that all of you can also benefit from it if you draw value from this. Awesome. So what I'm going to do, the format of this episode is going to be that I will read out a few questions that I have randomly picked, and then I will answer the questions. And yeah, that's basically it. So, without further ado, let's get started. A bit of a background where the questions are coming from. A few weeks ago, I was invited to share my career journey with a bunch of brilliant budding scientists. The session was organized by Vigyan Chala in India, or rather, they're based in India. I think it's called Vigyan Chala International. And they have this brilliant initiative called Kalpana Speak Up or or Kalpana Up. I always forget what exactly it is called. And yeah, there they completed their recent cohort, I think, and I was invited to share my journey at the end for their incubator and also the Kalpana Up cohort. So basically, after this event, online event, I got a lot of messages on LinkedIn from the happy participants and inspired participants, and I will share questions from two participants. I won't name them because I haven't had the chance to check with them if this is okay with them, but of course, I will share the recording or this episode with them when it is ready. So let's get cracking. So you know what the background is, on and so forth, and how it is going to go. Alrighty. So the first question, let me read that out. I'm opening it on my iPad. Okay, so the first question is I wanted to reach out to you as I had a few questions about studying in Germany. I'm currently in the third year of my bachelor's, pursuing a BSc, which is Bachelor of Science honors in Biotech, biotechnology, and I'm interested in pursuing my master's from Germany, either in biotech or bioinformatics. I actually wanted to know if you faced any challenges regarding the language barrier in Germany, and also how are the post study work opportunities there? And you mentioned that you got an opportunity to work as a research associate, which helped you pay for the tuition fees. I wanted to know if that is a common thing and what is the procedure for it. And if I want to do that after I get an acceptance from a university, what to do. Okay, perfect. So this is a question, or these are the questions that I get quite often. So I'm glad I picked this question. Are these questions from this participant? So first of all, thank you very much for reaching out. Thank you very much for being aware of what your questions are and then putting them in my LinkedIn messages. I truly appreciate it. And here we go. Let's start. So there are three questions, right? There are three parts to this question. So the first part is, did you face any language barrier when moved to Germany? So a little background. I moved to Germany in 2012, and now I'm recording in 2024. So this was 12 years ago. And back then, Germany was slightly different or very different when it comes to the language compared to now. And what I would say is that today, if you want to move to Germany, it's of course a great idea. I would truly support it, if that is what you want to do. And in terms of the language barrier, if you live in the big cities like Berlin or Frankfurt or Munich, then the chances of you being surrounded by international people are quite high. So if you go to a smaller village or a city, not so well known and not so international, then of course there for everyday life you need more German, be it in the supermarket, be it at a public transport office that you need, or at the foreign office also. So bigger the city, the higher are the chances that the people there speak English. And I honestly did have quite a lot of language barriers, also because this was like 12 years ago, and also because I was not prepared for so much German. I mean, for some reason, I didn't even think about it. So it's good that you are thinking about it, at least, because for sure did not think about this, or rather not consider it. Not that I didn't think about it, I just didn't consider this aspect of integrating into a society or finding my way in the society will be a challenge. So definitely, it could be a challenge because in Germany we still have a lot of people who speak German, who prefer to speak German. So, yeah, that answers your first question regarding the challenges. It will be challenging if you do not speak German, and it would really help if you can learn a little bit of German, at least before moving. You are doing your BSc in Bachelor of Science in Biotech, and you are interested in a master's in Germany, either in biotech or bioinformatics. Yes. So, and what are the job opportunities? That is something that you wanted to know, right? So from my personal experience, what I wanted to do, the reason why I moved to Germany was to get a PhD, like the doctor title, right? After your master's, you have two options. The two options are that either you switch to industry, so from academia to industry, or the second option is you continue in academia and you secure a PhD position. Both of those possibilities still are open to you, of course, and the job opportunities in the field of biotech and bioinformatics, I would say, are quite good in both cases, either staying in academia or leaving academia and switching to industry. So job prospects are really good. I would say Germany is a good country, and the job market should be good. And you will also have 2 years when you move to do your masters in Germany. You will have 2 years to figure everything out and to decide what kind of companies to go for. So yeah, but having said that, of course, no one can predict the future. No one can say that, okay, yeah, you will definitely get a job. So, yeah, but all I can say is that the job opportunities are there, especially in the field of biotech and bioinformatics. This is definitely one of the new exciting fields. So the job possibilities are great. So, yeah, I hope that answers your second question. And the third question you had was about, you mentioned that you got an opportunity to work as a research associate, which helped with the tuition fee. Yes. So this is an important question, right? This is an important topic. So let me start with my motivation to move to Germany. Other than the fact that I was super impressed and super happy and inspired by the work culture, research culture in Germany, what I also wanted to do was to be financially independent as much as possible. when I'm doing my master's. So when I moved to Germany, I wanted to be as financially independent as possible. And this is what I mentioned during the session, that I moved to Germany because I got this HEVI position, basically student research assistant in the lab. That is what I was. I was getting something like 650 euros, I think. This was in 2012. Yeah. And it was barely enough for me to get by with minimal support from my parents' money. So, and also the tuition fees in Germany is not that high, or at least wasn't that high. It's definitely lower compared to universities in Australia or UK or the Netherlands in some cases, or even the US or Canada. So tuition fees are quite low, and you should definitely look into the tuition fees, how much they are. Because I remember when I did my bachelor's degree, when I was doing my Bachelor of Technology at the NIT Nagpur in India, the tuition fees that I paid, or my parents paid, for each semester was very much similar to how much I paid for my tuition fees per semester in Germany. But having said that, this was 12 years ago, so you might want to update yourself on how much are the tuition fees really. And for me, actually, the heavy job that I got, that was more for living expenses and not so much for the tuition fees. And the living expenses can be quite steep, and the tuition fees is, of course, if you, for example, go to a government funded university, then the tuition fee should be quite low. So definitely check into that. So yeah, and the HEWI positions, or the student research associate assistant positions in the lab, is something that you can get. You can look for once you get an admission letter or acceptance, or once you land in Germany. You can check for that in your department, in your university, in the research institutions close to your university campus, or so. And this is something I think you can do. If I remember correctly, please do not take my word for it, but if I remember correctly, it was something like 20 hours or 18 hours per week. That is less than 50% that you're allowed to do, because the visa or the foreign office also want you to pursue your, like, focus on your master's degree and not just come here to work. So yeah, there are some conditions for the kind of visa, like the student visa, that you would get once you come to Germany for your master's degree. So I would consider that as well. And yeah, I hope that was helpful, and thank you very much again for the questions. All right, the second and the last one that I'm going to cover in this episode of Advice Line with Pranoti, or Advice Line on Under the Microscope. I really should figure out what I call it. In any case, let me check. Where was the other one? I am scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. So the other message is basically, it's very sweet, I have to say. It goes something like, so unfortunately, I couldn't attend the session you were holding, but I saw the video. I really am inspired by you. The way you speak, your achievements, and your attitude with students conveyed you as a superwoman, in my view. I observed each and every word of you. You casually shifted your career, and that made me feel like, wow, okay. Really, I don't know how to express my thoughts to you. That is so kind. Thank you very much. This is so kind. I love this. I love, 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 love this. This is so sweet. And now we come to the question. So, I am a Bachelor of Technology student in artificial intelligence and data science, and I always had an aim to work or to do my master's in Germany, but I don't know how to do it. Could you give me some guidelines to work in Germany? Alrighty, so first of all, thank you again for the wonderful, wonderful words, such kind words. I really am truly, truly touched. And coming now to your question, right? So you're doing your Bachelor of Technology in Artificial Intelligence and Data Science. This is great. This is already very, very good. And it's also good that you know what you want to do, that you want to move to Germany either to do a master's or to work, right? So, what I would suggest is that after bachelor's, it makes sense to get a master's degree for sure. And that is also a good entry point for you to enter Germany, in the sense that this will also give you an idea of how is life in Germany, what is the lifestyle, how is the society, and then after your master's, you can decide if you want to stay or if you want to move wherever in Europe or back to where you're coming from or any other continent, right? So, yeah, that is what I would suggest. Check for the master's degree courses in artificial intelligence or machine learning and data science. It's quite popular nowadays. Of course, I'm sure you will find a lot of universities offering this kind of a program for masters. And depending on where you are in your Bachelor of Technology journey, if you're towards the end, then I would definitely recommend applying for a master's program in Germany at a university, at a very good university, and then moving to Germany as a master's student. That is also, I have to say, it's a lower entry barrier compared to moving to Germany for a job. Not being in Germany and looking for a job from a different continent as a bachelor student is definitely going to be super challenging, not just for you, but also for the company. Even if they like your profile, even if they like the work you're doing or you could do, it's going to be difficult for the company as well. So that is why I would suggest look for a master's program in Germany, apply for it. Once you get accepted, move to Germany, and then during your master's, you can do internships or the HEWI jobs, which are the student research assistant jobs, to get exposure in the different labs or different companies, even depending on what you end up doing, and then looking for a job in Germany in artificial intelligence or data science. Even if you start, let's say now, and move to Germany for masters in 2025, let's say, then you will be finished by 27, but you already have enough time to prepare. And also, I'm sure even after 2 3 years, the jobs in machine learning and data science, we are going to need those always. So yeah, I hope this is helpful. Just a one line answer would be to look for a master's position in a German university in artificial intelligence or data science or whichever you want to go for. Get the master's position, move to Germany, and then look for a job. Maybe you want to do a PhD after you do your master's or when you're doing your master's. Who knows? I'm not trying to convince you to do a PhD. What I want to say is that keep your options open. That is always helpful. Alrighty, perfect. I hope this has been useful. I should also, before I wrap it up, I should also say that if you have any questions for me or any topic you want me to talk about as my listener, please put it in the comment section of this podcast. I think the option is available on Spotify. I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, I'm sure you'll figure it out. If not, you are more than welcome to reach out to me on LinkedIn. My LinkedIn messages are open, I think. So please just reach out to me on LinkedIn. I'll put my profile link in the show notes or the episode description where you can find me. And yeah, I hope this has been useful for not just for the people who asked the question, but also for the rest of you who are listening. Thank you for staying till the very end. This is a new territory for me, and I would truly love to hear from you if you find it interesting, if you find this useful. And yeah, thank you very much as always for your support for Under the Microscope. And we have very exciting guests coming up for the rest of the season 6 of Under the Microscope, which will go until the end of 2024, of course. So, yeah, stay tuned because we have some really exciting guests coming up and big plans for Under the Microscope and for the Science Talk. So, stay tuned again. And thank you very much, as always, for your support. Make sure you are subscribing or you're following the podcast. And if you feel up for it, you can also leave a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or wherever you're listening. Thank you very much. And this time I'm definitely going to wrap up. So thank you very much. See you in the next one. Alrighty. Bye bye.